first interview. Today, we are diving into the world of Scottish football, but we are not chatting from the player side today. We are chatting with someone of one of the most important roles in football, as we all know, the referee. So please welcome Matt Smith, an official and a Scottish FA referee. We'll be discussing his journey, training challenges, and what it's like making tough calls that keep the beautiful game fair. Matt is also a part of the referee forum that I'm a part of that some of you may know of. This is run by Ahmed, a FIFA referee, and it's a great group to develop new skills or knowledge in refereeing. Message us for more details on how to join. Matt, over to you.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me. First sort of, apart from our weekly Sunday calls, it's the first sort of meeting that I'm on since the refereeing career started, so it's good to be on. It's going to be an exciting day.
Yeah, great to have you here, Matt. Right, so I've got some questions lined up for you to answer. So to get started, can you introduce yourself and what level of football you currently referee?
So I'm a 16-year-old referee. I passed the exam in April, I think it was April or just shortly before April. Um, it was all thanks to the referee forum that we're both in. Ahmed and Keane both helped me out massively and got me to where I am right now, to be honest with you. Um, so I passed the exam and then I went up to the Orium, which is the centre for the Edinburgh district. Had a look at the training facilities and decided this is what I want to do. Um, I'm currently a Cat 8, which is basically the entry level. So I'm currently doing under nines. You can do under sevens, but I prefer under nines because you've got most of the rules and laws of the game can carry on into the 11s, uh, unlike seven asides. So I prefer nine asides. Um, but yeah, not much more to add to that.
Yeah, good to hear. So Scotland obviously runs a bit differently to England because in England you've got your different levels from 7 to 1. So it's quite interesting. Do you mind explaining the categories you have to me?
So category 8, which doesn't really get used often, but is basically like the entry level. Um, and category 1, of course, is the Premiership. It doesn't always have to be the Premiership. It might just be the referees with most experience, and they get like the bigger games. You can get in between categories, can do semi-finals for amateur football. Um, there's a few refs that I know have went into large stadiums up in Aberdeen, Falkirk to do semi-finals, and they're in the middle categories. So just it's just a category. There's not much to it. It's category 8, which doesn't really get used, but that's me. Um, that's entry level refereeing, and hopefully I'll just walk up, keep walking up.
Nice. So what made you want to become a referee? Did you start as a player? How did that work for you?
Yeah, so I was playing for a football club for about 2 years. After the 2 years, I was too injury prone, tearing hamstrings, everything. So decided it would be best to just quit football, leave that to the side for a little bit. And actually, it's funny because when I left, I completely stopped watching football as well. It's like I fell out of love with the game. Um, so then it was just a chilling for a couple of years until later this year. Um, decided, well, I started watching football again and got right into it. And just decided to apply to become a referee. And now I'm in this game.
So fair enough. So you were quite injury prone, you say, tearing hamstrings and all. So what position did you play?
Yeah, very injury prone, constant injury prone. I played as a striker, so one of the most important jobs to bag all the goals. Um, I went from one important job to the most important job by the looks of it now.
Yeah, I think for me personally, because I was also playing as a cam or a striker quite often, going from being one of the most important people on the pitch for your team to going to being the most important person on the pitch overall is it's quite an interesting transition, if you know what I mean. So talking about the transition, what was your first game as a referee like?
First game was obviously very nerve-wracking, like anyone's first game. I mean, at the end of the day, you're going in with very little training. The only training you've really been put through is knowing the laws of the game, and it's down to you to know them. There's not someone at the side of the pitch telling you if that's a handball, if that's an offside. You've got to be spot on. And of course, there's mistakes. I was told that there wasn't much mistakes, and I actually done very well. So it's good to walk away knowing that you've done well for your first game. So it was very nerve-wracking. It's just more, it's about making sure you're doing everything right, making sure you're doing all your pre-match checks, making sure the pitch is in condition and all the players are fit to play, and warming up myself. That's a big part. Don't want to injure myself. Um, so obviously very nerve-wracking experience, but managed to get through it. And yeah, it was a brilliant game.
Yeah, I think when you have your first match, it's always quite nerve-wracking because I believe you told me it was under nines, right?
Yeah, under nine skills game.
Underline gosh, that's actually my first as well. But when you do this first game, it as any referee, it's quite daunting because you don't want to get anything wrong. And we're human; it's gonna happen. You're gonna get something wrong eventually. If not, whenever there's gonna be decisions you make that could be wrong. But it's just about coming back from that and developing. And like you said, being prepared is key. Honestly, to be warmed up, to be mentally prepared as well as physically prepared is very important. So, on that note, can you tell me about your typical match day? Can you walk me through it?
So so far, it depends what time the match is at. The past two matches have been night matches, so 7 o'clock kickoffs. So I just get up as I do work during the day for my business, and once I finish, whatever time I like, really, um, I get all my kit ready, put in my bag, make sure I've got all the cards, make sure I've got my whistle, everything basically is chucked in the bag. That's just set aside, make sure that's done in plenty of time. Probably leave and hope to be there for 45 to 30 minutes before kickoff, just to do all the checks I need to do, chat to the coaches, and see if they've got anything they want to discuss with me before I go and do my checks, my warm up. Um, During the game, it's just making sure I've got everything right. Of course, there'll be some slip ups, but it's normal when refereeing. There's one of you, and there's tons of people in the park, plus off the park as well, constantly shouting. After the game, it's just a relaxing night. Get home, I go for a Starbucks. It's just relaxing, really. Just chill, watch some TV on the phone, um, and then have an early night, ready for the next day.
Yeah, fair enough. I honestly think that's a really good routine. And what I actually really like about what you've just said is the bit at the end, actually, how you might get a Starbucks, you might watch some TV, because I think as a referee, it's crucial that we have that downtime after a game because, especially if you've had a really awful game, that you're like, oh, maybe why am I doing this? Why am I, all that sort of stuff. There's certain things you can do to help relieve that pressure. Like for me, I just literally I grab some Coca Cola, sit on the sofa, put on referee fails, and look at some of them because you see it all the time. We make mistakes, we're human. So I like that bit about having that downtime at the end, ready for the next day. That I really do like about your routine. So talking about being physically, mentally prepared throughout your day, can you walk me through how you stay mentally prepared and mentally stable? Not in a bad way, but again, mentally focused throughout a game.
Yeah, so obviously it's a very tough job when it comes to game day, and when the match is about to kick off, especially I've noticed for the nines, it seems to be more the coaches that are the verbal. Uh, I have had an incident with one of the fans already, um, which we'll discuss shortly. But it's about enjoying it. I find you want to enjoy what you're doing, and as a referee with the biggest responsibility on the park, you've got to enjoy it. You've got to be in that mindset, and it's just simple things like even a Starbucks and watching TV after a game, even before a game, it can just change your mindset. You might be in a down mood before the game. After the game, you've been told you've refed well, and then you go and grab a Starbucks, head home, watch TV, and you're like, I've really done well today. Um, and it motivates you for the next game that comes up. So it's just for me, it's about making sure I enjoy the game, making sure I do what I can do well, and it's also downtime, which every referee needs some downtime. Otherwise, that's when the game does become enjoyable.
Yeah, no, thanks for that. I actually agree with that. It is very important to have that downtime and be mentally ready because that's probably one of the hardest parts of the job, keeping yourself mentally on the right path, if you know what I mean. So, talking about paths and pathways, can you describe to me or tell me about what your aspirations are as a referee? Where do you want to be in maybe the next 10 years, for example?
Yeah, definitely. So obviously, just starting out a few months ago, I just want to get all the everything under my head, make sure I'm doing what I'm doing, and keep doing what I'm doing as well. Keep getting the feedback that I'm getting from coaches and from other referees. Um, just attending training all the time. And the only way I can really progress is by attending training, um, which is also going to keep me fit. I hope to see myself a Category 1 referee and refereeing in the Premiership. That's the pinnacle of that. Yeah, Category 1 is any referee's dream, to be honest. Refereeing in the top leagues. Um, Even in the next few years, couple of years, refereeing semi-finals in amateur football, in large stadiums. There's a lot of opportunities that refereeing can bring to you. You just need to work hard to get there, which is what I'm doing.
Yeah, I think that's probably the most important thing, working towards these goals. Because what a lot of people don't realize as referees is it's kind of like being a footballer. If you want to go higher, you've got to work harder to get into a better team. Maybe you're Div 3, you want to go to Div 1. How are you going to get there? You're going to work harder to get into that team. And then it's the same with referees. If you want to go up the levels from in England, a 4 to a 3, in Scotland, a Cat 4, was it? Cat 3? Cat 4 to Cat 3, you've got to work hard. You've got to be putting in the work, putting in the practice, putting it in mentally, physically, getting the recovery, and all of that adds to where you end up. So, Max, my final question for you today is I want to know your opinions on VAR. Is it hindering the game? Is it helping the game? What do you think?
So the I'm kind of half and half about VAR. There is some incidents in football that it can really help that the referee can't pick up. But there can also be incidents that VAR has got a really bad mistake on that the referee was actually correcting. You see that quite a lot in football now, especially if you watch the VAR review with Willie Collum. Um, you'll see a lot of incidents in there that he even says VAR got wrong on the referee. There should have been no interference. I've noticed quite a bit that VAR do interfere with decisions that they shouldn't be interfering with. Willie Collum even said that in the VAR review. Um, I think I do think it is good, but I think there's a limit to VAR where it is just getting out of hand. So it's difficult to say if it should be staying or not. Um, I think for the benefit of the game, VAR would have to stay, and it does partly help out referees. It might even be the wrong decision, but at least the referee can then look back at that decision and can see what he's done wrong, and um, the VAR will explain that to the referee. Um, but yeah, I'm more like goal line technology as well. I do think every club in Scotland um, should just have that because you look at the incident the other week with Hibs and Rangers when Rangers didn't get the goal and it was clearly over the line from a referee's point of view. Um, yeah, it's a lot. The VAR side and the goal line technology side of football, it's a complicated topic, but I'm 50-50 with VAR.
Yeah, fair enough. That's understandable because there are so many different opinions on VAR that it's actually quite hard to choose because sometimes there's times where you're like, oh, fast, ruining the game. It's calling this and it should be down to the ref. But there's other times where it's really needed. Like you said, that example from Hibs versus Rangers, I think that was a great one. But another one that I think for the English viewers would be the Morgan Rogers one, the one where Bayern had kind of picked it up, dropped it. It was out of his hands. Morgan Rogers had just taken it and scored. And Bayern like, nope, nope, I had two hands on it. And he clearly didn't, but the ref called it as that he had two hands on it. But he blew the whistle before the ball went in the goal, so VAR could not intervene. Certain situations like that I think do make you consider what we're doing with VAR. How do we change it for the better? But yeah, no, I think I agree with what you said in the sense that it's got to stay in the game for the better of it because it can help the game. We just got to be using it right. So, Matt, is there anything you'd like to add before we conclude?
Not much, just thank you for having me on. And if you are listening, you want to get involved with the referee forum run by Ahmed, messages will get you on it. It's brilliant, even if you are a very experienced referee. It's it's brilliant. You learn a lot more that you don't know. We do weekly calls. Um, that really get your brain working about the laws of the game. And them weekly calls they're constant. So we do it's like laws of the game quizzes, and that will just keep on helping you. It'll be refreshed in your head for the next ticking week when you've got your game. So there's never, it's a good group of lads as well. We all have a laugh on the calls, but every Sunday night, 8 p.m. Be there.
Yeah, the forum that we are part of from Ahmed, the football referee on TikTok, is a great place. It's helped me a lot personally with my own refing day to day. And from Max personally, I believe, I don't know if you want to talk about this, but he personally struggled with the first few times he did his exam. Do you want to talk about that, Max?
Yeah, so basically, when I done the referee exam, I failed twice. The pass mark was 80%, and I was getting under 80% every time. As soon as I joined the football forum, I was on a call with uh, Amo and Keane, and they were basically explaining everything to me, what I need to know, and they were basically just breaking down the laws of the game for me. So then when I went back to sit the exam, I passed it with, I think it was 99%, 98%. Um, so without them, I wouldn't be a referee at the minute, which is why I recommend the group.
Yes, proven from Max, it produces some amazing results. And it's just a great place to be with other referees. So if you want any information on that, don't forget to drop me a DM. Don't forget follow my other socials. This is my YouTube. Follow my TikTok, same as my YouTube, J underscore referee, my Instagram, Jaden referee. Any question, put them in the comment below. Thank you very much for joining us, Max, and we'll see you all next time. Thank
Pleasure.
you and
Take care.